Hello students and welcome to the class. Today, as the slide is self-explanatory, our class will be about vocabulary building skills. As you know that roughly 90% of the time self-expression is done through words, and you cannot express what you want if you do not know the words to say. And many people find themselves stumped when they come to the written scripts or the spoken communication skills because they have trouble organizing their thoughts and because the right words tend to elude them. There is the definition on the screen which says that vocabulary is about words, where they come from, how they change, how they relate to each other, and how we use them to view the world. No matter who you are, a student trying to finish a term paper or a professional completing a written project, or anyone else relying on the power of words to send a message, you need a comprehensive and expressive vocabulary in order to interact well and to do a good job in your daily tasks. As you can see that there are two kinds of vocabulary displayed on the screen. One is oral vocabulary and the other one is reading vocabulary. The oral vocabulary refers to the words that we use in speaking or recognize in listening. And the reading vocabulary refers to the words we recognize in the print. As we have already discussed in our class, that most of the vocabulary development takes place through reading, especially when it comes to a second language or a foreign language. Why words are difficult to remember? For words interesting origins, if we look at the word hippopotamus, hippopotamus is a river horse from the Greek hippos, meaning horse, and potamus means river. So if we take another example and look at the following words like transport, transgress, and transaction, we'll be seeing that they all have the word trans in them. Port means to carry, gress means to go across the boundary or maybe any rule or law, and action is to do. The transaction usually involves an exchange of or trade of some kind. So they all have one word, one root word that is called trans. Vocabulary building means increasing the vocabulary, definitely, and knowledge of word parts can play a role in increasing our vocabularies. Word parts include prefixes, suffixes, and root words. Well, there is a method for everyone. The method which has worked for me and for my students, today I'm going to introduce to you all as well, that is 3R method. This is the method. If we adopt this in our daily lives, we can improvise our vocabulary. That is 3R method: read, record, and review. And how we are going to do it, you're going to see it in the next slide. If you aim to read for an hour a day, you will feel a certain change in your own vocabulary, in the usage of words in your daily life, not only at a professional level, but when you're talking to your peers as well. Pick something that is interesting, and that something or that text should be of your interest. Like it could be a magazine, a novel, a biography, short stories. Kindle is not necessary all the time, which is in practice that most of you are having Kindles in your hands, but that is only an excuse if we say that, okay, I'm not having a Kindle in my hand, so I cannot read. Physically taking the book in your hand and having the feel of the paper also counts. get the overall idea of what you are reading. Then if we come to record, that how we are going to record. So record the unknown words or inactive words. Not necessarily you have to write it somewhere. There are several applications available which can keep the record of the words that you intend to use in next weeks. Aim to collect 5 to 10 words daily. And you can, I have already provided the links of Cambridge, Oxford, and Merriam-Webster, from where you could find out the meanings of those words. Challenge yourself to bring new words into your active vocabulary. You can achieve this only by reviewing those words regularly, and pick one day of the week as your reviewing day. Try to get the gist of what you are reading. Do not get like overwhelmed when you are looking at the words that you do not know the meaning of, and do not try to find out the meanings of those words when you are doing the reading. Keep those words aside, maybe a column in your rough register which you have kept specifically for your reading and recording of words. And later on, you can try to find out the meanings, and not only the meanings, the usage of those words in sentences. That's how only you can improvise. So keep an hour a day for yourself, okay? Now, coming back to the suffixes, prefixes, and root words. So vocabulary, what are the vocabulary tasks that should be structured to improvise, keeping in mind that how we can improvise our vocabulary. So as we have already studied in our previous grades, maybe from grade 5, grade 6, we are trying to take hold of English grammar as the English second language learners. How we can build the vocabulary by learning again, and by looking again at those suffixes, prefixes, and roots. Prefixes are word parts. Needless to say that they are added at the beginning of the words, and they dramatically alter a word's meaning. And they change the words into antonyms like regard and disregard, correct and incorrect. Suffixes are the words. Those are the word parts added at the end of the words, and they change from verb to nouns, and they can change from nouns to adjectives like jump to jumper. That little is changing the whole meaning of the word. And then poison, noun. Poison is the word that is a noun. It can be changed into poisonous. That will make it an adjective. So roots are the base part of the words. They convey the bulk of the word's meaning. And how we can build the vocabulary, and why in the first place we need to build the vocabulary. There are certain points that I have written on the slide. We need to understand things better. And as you all know, that language is the key to learning. A child who has limited vocabulary, you have seen that child babbling, tends to have lots of questions. We cannot know the exact essence of the sentences if you are not aware of his or her habits and routines. Even mathematical problems become easier to understand if you have a good vocabulary, like sum of, or difference of, simplification, fraction, round off. So these words, when you are aware of the vocabulary, you can score well in your mathematics class as well. And interact with people better, like when you are going to brush up your vocabulary skills, if you want to interact with people better, definitely you are going to ace in the field that wherever you belong to. According to research, more students want to talk to or interact with well-read or well-spoken people because they are in constant process of improvising themselves. Many people admit to feel intimidating when they are around people who speak intelligently and articulately. Sort of like social stigma is often applied to people who do not have the ability to clearly express themselves. It increased definitely the self-confidence, and good vocabulary can speed up your learning. It is much easier to understand difficult sentences and phrases. So it helps you in speeding up your progress. People who are well versed in many topics and have appropriate vocabulary to express their learnings or experiences tend to have more chances to climb the ladder while making progress in the multinational companies, perhaps, or maybe corporate sectors. So vocabulary to build our curricula, why this is important. I'm going to discuss a little about it. Like majority of the students who have command on spoken or written English, I have seen that they have made their own efforts. Unfortunately, the curriculum does not focus on the well-rounded development of vocabulary. Enhancement of inadequate vocabulary depends upon your own efforts. Agar, if we come to the last point, that is the value of vocabulary building. What is the value of vocabulary building? A learner's lack of existing vocabulary knowledge also acts as an impediment. One of the quickest ways to increase your vocabulary, students, is to increase your existing knowledge. If you are going to speed up, if you are going to read more, if you are going to increase your existing knowledge, you are going to make a difference. Different prefixes and suffixes are added to a root to change its meaning and create new words. For example, the root word hand can become definitely unhand, that is to let go. Hand out, something you give for free or even, and handsome is good looking. So for your facility, I have included this slide. Needless to say that it is having the list of few suffixes, important suffixes that we can use in our class collaborative sessions, the meanings of those suffixes, and with the examples. So have a look at them. And probably in our next class, we'll be having some collaborative exercises where we could practice those suffixes, maybe in the form of sentences or in our conversation class. Take some time out to look at these prefixes, the list of few important prefixes along with the meanings and the examples. Now, spend some time and read these 10 words. Use prefixes to find the opposite of these verbs. We are going to do one or two. So later on, after closing this presentation, you could work on your registers, and then, as I have asked, that you're going to bring those prefixes in the classes, in the next classes. If that is a very, we are, as I have told you earlier, that we are going to go from easy to difficult. So wrap, unwrap, agree, disagree, fold, unfold, it is very easy, and you people could do it quickly in just a minute, in just a matter of minutes. Then the exercise, put the words in brackets in the appropriate form, use prefixes or suffixes. We will do one or two, like he was acting in a very dash way. We are going to add ISH in the form of suffix, and that will make it childish. Or if I go to the sentence number 5, I couldn't find any dash in his theory. I couldn't find any weakness in his theory. And if we go to the second last sentence, I think that you should dash your decision. It may not be the best thing to do. I think that you should reconsider your decision. That is a prefix. So these type of similar exercises we are again going to do in the class, and I'll end my presentation by a quote from Rudolf Flesch that says that you can't build a vocabulary without reading. You can't meet friends if you stay at home by yourself all the time. In the same way, you can't build up a vocabulary if you never meet any new words. And to meet them, you must read. The more you read, the better. Thank you for your time. And we'll meet in the next class. Up till then, take care. Bye-bye.